Now reaction of metals with acids. Metals react with acid, dilute acid to form salt and give hydrogen gas. Now sodium and potassium metals, they are very reactive metals. They react vigorously even with cold water. So sodium and potassium metals are not taken for the activity. Other metals like magnesium, aluminum, zinc and iron are taken for the activity to check their reaction with acids. Now magnesium, aluminum, zinc and iron, they all react with dilute hydrochloric acid to give salt and hydrogen gas. For example, magnesium plus HCl will form magnesium chloride MgCl2 plus hydrogen gas. Balancing the reaction, this is 2HCl. Then aluminium will react to form aluminium chloride and hydrogen gas. Now hydrogen gas is not evolved when metals react with nitric acid. Hydrogen gas is not evolved when metals react with nitric acid. Why? When metals react with nitric acid, whatever hydrogen is formed is again oxidized by nitric acid into water, and this nitric acid is reduced to any of the products like N2O, NO or NO2. This nitric acid, it gets reduced to any of the nitrogen oxides. So since the hydrogen produced is getting oxidized to water, whenever a metal reacts with nitric acid, it will not evolve hydrogen. But metals like magnesium and manganese are exception. Manganese and magnesium, when they react with very dilute HNO3, will give hydrogen gas. They will form the nitrate and they will give the hydrogen gas. Magnesium with dilute nitric acid will form magnesium nitrate plus hydrogen gas. The condition is nitric acid should be very dilute. Point to be noted, nitric acid must be very dilute. Rate of formation of bubbles when magnesium reacts with hydrochloric acid. The reaction is quite vigorous. When magnesium reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid, hydrogen gas is evolved. So this hydrogen gas bubbles are seen in the solution, and this bubble formation, the rate of formation of bubble was the fastest in case of magnesium. These are actually the bubbles of hydrogen gas, and the reaction is most exothermic in this case. Means when magnesium reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid, the rate of formation of hydrogen gas is very fast and the reaction is exothermic, that is heat is evolved during the reaction, and in comparison to the other metals, the amount of heat evolved when magnesium reacts with hydrochloric acid is maximum. The reactivity decreases in the order magnesium, aluminum, zinc and iron. Iron is the least reactive. Magnesium is the most reactive metal when the reaction with dilute HCl is considered. In case of copper, no bubbles were seen and the temperature also remained unchanged. Means copper does not react with dilute HCl. So most reactive is magnesium. Copper does not react with dilute HCl. Then magnesium and manganese, they can react with dilute nitric acid, very dilute nitric acid, and give hydrogen gas. While other metals, when they react with nitric acid, hydrogen gas formed is oxidized by nitric acid into water. So they do not evolve hydrogen gas when they react with nitric acid. Instead, metal nitrate is formed, water is formed, and any of the oxides like N2O, NO or NO2 is formed. This is NO. Aqua regia. What is aqua regia? Aqua regia is actually a mixture of HCl and HNO3 in the ratio 3:1. And this aqua regia is highly corrosive, fuming liquid, and it is one of the few reagents that is able to dissolve gold and platinum. Next activity. In this activity, a solution of copper sulfate is taken in which iron nail is dipping, and a solution of iron sulfate is taken in which copper wire is dipping. Now this activity will help to find out which metal is more reactive. Now if a metal A displaces a metal B from its salt solution, then it is said that metal A is more reactive than metal B. Metal A is more reactive than metal B. For example, when iron reacts with copper sulfate, then the product formed is FeSO4 and copper. So what is happening? The salt taken was copper sulfate. Now what happens? Iron has taken the place of copper in copper sulfate. Means iron combines with the sulfate anion to form iron sulfate and metallic copper is deposited. So overall what has happened? Iron has displaced copper from its salt. So since iron has displaced copper from its salt, therefore it can be said that iron is more reactive than copper. So in this experiment, the blue solution of copper sulfate will fade and metallic copper will be deposited at the bottom of the test tube and iron sulfate will be formed. And in this test tube no reaction takes place because iron is more reactive than copper. Copper is less reactive than iron. So copper will not displace iron from its salt, that is iron sulfate. The reactivity series. What is reactivity series? Reactivity series is a list of metals arranged in the order of their decreasing activities.